Hello.
Hello.
Sean, our topic for today is
A climate emergency.
okay, and what do we want to say today about this? There's so much to say. Where do we start?
Yes, exactly. Where do we start? You know, we started 8 years ago in Youngstown opposing the fracking. Then we knew that it was encompassing much more than just fracking. It's encompassing the whole world, the whole fossil fuel debacle that we've been fed, our economy, our life, everything else.
So where do we go now?
We have to find a way to get completely off of fossil fuels, or we're not going to survive.
And what are some options?
Solar, wind, hydropower.
And I imagine this is going to be a political issue, or already is a political
It's already a political hot button. Just listen to our president, you know, with his propaganda that windmills cause cancer, the noise is unbearable. Some are saying that we're going to burn out the sun too soon with solar.
You know, it's just, we are stifling, ushering in a whole new era and a whole new economy of jobs. This presidency is stifling jobs. It's stifling innovation. It's stifling our economy.
How so?
Well, because we're being hooked onto these dirty fuels forever and ever. And we're just going to scrape it till there's nothing left to even develop the new infrastructure distribution of any type of other system of fuel. One of the things that I think we need to learn as a country before we start going to even alternative fuels is to get back to conserving that which we already have. We think we have been needing to use certain levels and amounts of fuel that we really don't. We don't really need 24-hour society selling 50-gallon tubs of peanut butter. Okay, so if you think about this, the fuel we supposedly need can be found in all the fuel that we waste and all the products that are made with it. So I think that conservation is important, efficiency is important, and this administration, though, is just stifling, ushering in a whole new era of economic prosperity because they're clinging to the past. We're not moving forward. And also, if you are, you care about the environment, care about the health of the public, we have to care about that which sustains life, our air, our water, which obviously the fossil fuel industries have contaminated for decades. And it's time to just usher this era out and bring in a new one. And the resistance is just great right now, but we have to keep putting the right information out there, because none of this, as you said in other videos, is going to come to people through the mainstream channels. Scott, Sean, I always get those two mixed up, the names.
So what are some hard and fast examples then of things we can do right now on the ground? Because that's where many would say it's going to have to start.
Well, the first thing I'd go to is the transportation system. You know, all these years and all this money that we put into the interstate systems was all for the selling of oil. Individual cars sell more oil than public transportation. We should have been building trains. We're so far behind the rest of the world in our transportation systems. Technology has been there for years. High-speed trains.
It's sad because now that Sean mentions that, I was walking the other day down the street, busy street, and every vehicle, I pay attention to this, I took a conscious effort to pay attention to this, every vehicle out there, big and small, that had the capacity of at least 4 passengers, had one person in every vehicle, just one. So think of all the wasted space, the wasted weight, the wasted fuel that we're hauling one person around. If we're going to do this way, then why don't we just drive around little George Jetson vehicles that are designed for just one person? Why do we have this waste of fuel for these vehicles that are made to carry 4 or 5 or 6 passengers, and there's only one person in there all the time?
So it sounds like we need to educate people and get people thinking along these lines. Wouldn't you say?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, it's change is hard. I mean, this is, it's challenging information that people have heard for decades to the contrary. And we need to just keep an open mind about this. We can do better than this. Why not lean on the side of doing better, or just improving? I'm not saying that every time you bring your car out you have to have 5 or 6 people in it, but my goodness, can we maybe do a little more carpooling, or just try to make an effort? Just think if you did that once or twice or 3 times a month of all the times you drive. That has to make a collective impact.
Oh, yes. And, when I look, when Obama ran for presidency the first time, he was talking about switching the country over to high-speed rail and light rail in the inner cities and stuff. Never went anywhere in the Congress.
Mm-hmm.
The oil lobby shot it down.
In 70 years, we went from even in northern Ohio, if you look at the old photos, the old pictures, we went from a society that was pretty much walkable cities, transportation dependent like that, to a society that largely, when you ask them, they don't know how to live without a parking lot or without a car. So our grandparents knew how to do all that. They knew how to use the public transit. We've already done this before, and we can do it again.
Yeah.
And
I
other
grew up
energies.
in Sharon, and every place we went in Sharon, basically, we walked to. In fact, we didn't have a car for many years.
Mm-hmm.
My father said it was an extra mouth to feed.
Mm-hmm.
My grandfather used to take us to baseball games in Cleveland. We walked to downtown Sharon, got on the train, rode it to the Terminal Tower in Cleveland, walked from there to the stadium, walked back, and got back on the train and went home. And it didn't cost but maybe $4 or $5, something like that.
Now, to do that today, wouldn't that feel like just liberating, that you didn't have to rely on you getting yourself there all the time, fighting the traffic, paying for the fuel? You could just relax.
Actually, I've done that very ride between that very train ride between the airport and the terminal tower, and it's a pleasant ride.
Yeah. So we've done this before. It's not like we have never done this. It's within our grasp. It's only been how many decades has it been since we were totally like this compared to now, just like fighting to get that all back?
50 years, maybe.
About 50 years.
Something like that.
Okay, gentlemen, we are reaching our time. Thank you both very much, and we will plan on continuing this conversation in the weeks ahead.
It's good to be here. Thank you.
Thank you.